Hey everybody, welcome back to Dash Lab. So continuing on with the 750 Nighthawk S restoration, I'm going to take the carbs off. I'd taken them off 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. Would have put it in storage, cleaned them all new kits, everything inside of there. Wasn't able to get them synchronized. I realized I didn't probably do it completely right. I didn't do the pilot adjust screws and all that stuff. So we're going to be taking them apart and cleaning them and then putting them back on and synchronizing them. Today's problem is going to be to get the gas tank off, the breather box out, and to get this part over here. This is really hard. This is 1984. And the year we're doing this in right now is 2003. So it's, 30, 40 years old. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit tough. But the book says get the gas tank off, get the toolbox out, get the breather box out, and we'll be working on that. Of course, you can see I got it on the new stand now. And I love this thing. It's got, a couple of adjustable, well, it's infinitely adjustable, but it's got 2 stops there. I've got it on the medium stop. Nice working height, very secure. I put it on the center stand because I'm going to do some work on the fork, so I'll have to get the front wheel off the ground anyways. But if you like the stand, you can see a little link to it right up around here, and it'll tell you, show you the video of when I got that and then unboxing that stand. Alright, so I'm going to bring it around the other side and I can work on getting that tank off. So one of the things I had a hard time with last year when I was trying to sync the carbs is the reference carb is number 2 here. Of course there's 4 carbs on this beast. And there's a vacuum line that comes off of that because as the air goes through, it draws a vacuum. And that opens up a little diaphragm here on the pepcock and allows the fuel to flow through. So not only was I trying to draw a vacuum on there, I was trying to use the manometer. It's a 4-vein manometer to sync the carbs. I was trying to keep a vacuum on this gas tank. I was using this gas tank as the primary source for fuel when I was trying to sync the carbs. And I shouldn't have been doing that. I should have just had the manometer, the reference leg on there by itself and a separate gas tank. So I think that's part of the reason why everything got all crazy when I was trying to sync the carbs. So next year, I'm going to basically not do that and just have a separate fuel tank for the time that I'm actually syncing the carbs. Okay, so I'm going to undo this bolt here, get this loose, take the, I got this in the off position because I think there's still fuel in it, and take off these 2 lines off of the fuel tank. What I've done is I've completely taken off the box, and there were these connectors through there. I removed the connectors and reconnected them. Toolbox is completely out. Regulator is completely off. Okay, because we got to take out this whole breather box. Okay, and if I know I've done this before, it was a challenge. Let's just say that. You got to basically shoehorn it in there. I may yet end up taking these off, but for now they're out of the way. Next will be to take off these bands, and that is going to be fun too. There are 8 of them. I'm going to take out the air filter because I have to move this air box back, and I think that this is all going to be in the way here, so take the air filter off. The air filter cover at least. Don't drop the screws like I did. Got it. This rubber doesn't feel too bad. Just take that out. Okay, so I took these two bolts out here that are for holding the breather box in. All these bands are loose. And the next step, it says, is to remove it from the left-hand side. So this is the driver's side, the left-hand side, and somehow or another I've got to pull it out. So, but the first thing I was able to do is push down on it, and it says to be able to move the breather box back, and as far as I can see, the fender is in the way. The back fender here is in the way. So now the other thing is too that these boots are stiff as anything. So, and there's 4 of them. I don't see any other retaining bolts on here. And I might have to hit this with a heat gun. Okay, it looks like there might be one more bolt down here. The left airbox retaining bolt. That's why it was able to pivot but not move back. So we'll anti-screw this in. Yep. Seems looser now. Again, I still wonder if having that back fender off would not be a huge asset. I'm going to look into that a little bit more. Okay, so there's these little brackets here that just kind of hold the back fender onto the frame here. They were able to just kind of move out of the way, and then once I did, the whole breather box kind of came out of the way and these boots came off. I wouldn't say the breather box is out by any means. You know what? I got this screw, this bolt in here. It's not helping anything. I'm gonna anti-remove it, anti-install it. Actually, it's pretty tight on there. May have been a mistake. I like to try to put the bolts back into their respective housings as often as possible so I know what goes where. Sometimes it backfires on you. Nice to have a video of where everything goes. Fuel line or some sort of drain there. And those are still fully engaged onto the front boots. see if I can get these back boots out here. Okay, something to note. To get this loose, I had to completely take off the battery bracket. There's the 3 screws. I'm not going to show it to you. If you're watching me pulling the breather box out of a 750 Nighthawk S or 700 Nighthawk, you know where the battery bracket is, okay? You've been putting batteries in and out of it probably every year. So now that comes out pretty far. Definitely dropping the back fender is an asset. There's a couple more brackets back here. I had to pull off some of the wiring harnesses here for the fuse blocks and some relays. Just pulled them out, and now that comes nicely out of the way. And we should be able to get Das Boot out. There's one. Okay. Ooh, a little oily. Hard. We're going to show you how to rejuvenate those in a separate video. This side. There. Probably be able to get it out some way. Whoops. Alright, that's those two out. Okay, and those are going to seal onto the breather box somehow. We'll have to figure that out. And then the carbs should be relatively free to come out. That's free, that's free. That one's free. And that one's free. Alright, we're gonna have to get a pry bar. Okay, so these boots are very hard. You gotta be careful what you're prying against. Because you don't want to bend everything up too bad. And there we go. Okay. So once again, rock hard, 40 years old. We're gonna have to rejuvenate. My experience, my advice to you guys is when you go to put this back together, because it says the next step is to pull it out from the left hand side and take off your your choke and your throttle cables. Put them on before you put that back in there. Okay, I got the cables off, and for some reason or other my looks like my tack cable is here, or that's a speedometer cable. It's from some other project. Okay, a little scary. Yeah, so that's there's your carbs. Okay, and they're out. So just to recap, basically you got to loosen the breather box first and anything associated with it. I don't think there's any real reason to pull this completely out. If I'm not mistaken, we're pulling the back wheel off to get that out, but definitely something the manual didn't say is to drop the back fender to give us a little bit extra room. And the other thing is making sure that the battery, I didn't have a battery in it, but I put the cage back on. Make sure that's off because it bolts into it and it doesn't let it move freely. And I don't know if I actually had to take the air filter out or not, but so that's it. Carbs are out of a 750 in Canada.
in Canada. It's a 750. It's a 1984 Nighthawk S. It's a 700 in the US and it's a 750 here in Canada. That's all we got for you this time on Das Lab. Hopefully you learned something. Have fun. Don't get any on you. See you next time.